Good day everyone, we are the group 5 and today we will discuss about social, ethical and legal responsibilities and the use of technology tools and resources. Okay, before we proceed to our discussions, we have here an objectives. So at the end of the lesson, the students are expected to A. Provide examples about social, ethical, and legal responsibilities and the use of technology tools and resources. B. Is identify examples of compliance of IPR or intellectual property rights in educational settings. C. Is enumerate digital safety rules that ensure child's online safety and prevent cyberbullying. And D, we have discussed cyberbullying and its countermeasures. And E is describe the community of learners as netizens who share and utilize digital materials. F is provide standards and etiquette in sharing and utilizing share ID materials among learning communities. And G is identify sites and portals suitable to their subject area. And thus, we have described technology tools to collaborate and share resources among communities of practice.
This time, I'm now going to discuss the digital citizenship. On a simple definition, digital citizenship refers to those people that have access on the internet. Now, every individual can be considered as a digital citizen as long as you have connection or access on the digital society. For example, me, I consider myself as a digital citizen because I have social media accounts and I use smartphone and internet regularly. However, digital citizenship doesn't only focus on that perspective. If we dig deeper, it can be also defined as the norms of appropriate, responsible, and empowered technology use. It is the set of best practices that can describe how a person or a digital user can navigate safely, ethically, and appropriately in the online world. Now, digital citizenship have 9 elements, and I'm going to discuss it one by one. But just an overview, guys, that these 9 elements underlie on the three principles of a responsible digital user: the respect, educate, and protect. And along the discussion, we were able to recognize where these three principles can be applied. Moving on, the first element is the digital access. The starting point to become a digital citizen, of course, is by having the capacity to have digital access. A saddening reality that due to socioeconomic status, location, and other problems, some individuals, group, or even communities may not have access or may not have digital access. This is what we call digital divide, the unequal distribution of technology, and basically it is very unfair. For example, kung ako na ako'y cellphone, then na ako'y classmate nga walay cellphone, dagad gud siya ma-miss nga mga activities, lessons, mabihind gud siya kay simply because wala siya gamit para maka-access nitong mga lesson. And luckily to our government and the business sectors always keep finding way to resolve these issues. As you can see na diri sa atong university, naga-offer sila og free wifi. If we go to library, makita dito may free wifi. Then at the same time, free sa mga computer lab na pod. Then sa laing schools na computer lab na pod sila og mga naga-offer pod sila og mga free na pwede gamiton ang tablet. And kung ma-notice pod sa every kanto, makita ninyo na episonet na dito. So our government always find ways na ma-resolve kanina issue. Remember, guys, that digital access is just the ability to access and connect to the online society. Next is digital literacy. According to Highten, digital literacy is the ability to use information and communication technologies to find, evaluate, create, and communicate information requiring both cognitive and technical skills. Now, digital literacy simply talks about the capacity of understanding the purpose of a certain technology or how can we utilize it. One of the benefits of these elements is we were able to recognize the right tool or apps for everything that we do. For example, if you were going to make a PPT, then you will easily recognize what type of apps or tools you are going to use, just like WPS. Aside from that, we were able to distinguish what is the right information from the wrong one. The third one is the digital commerce. It is the ability to buy and sell goods or products online. This thing really brought a positive impact to the digital user. Imagine by one click you can buy anything that you want without hassle or struggle. However, if we notice that there are some negative feedback or issues about this concept, there are some reports that while having a transaction, some are being scammed, their credit card or personal information was hacked, and many more issues associated with it. As a digital citizen, we must be responsible and at the same time wise in every decision and actions we made. We must recognize the danger or the consequences before doing this thing. If you are a consumer, you need to be an effective user and producer of the digital economy. The fourth element is the digital communication. It also talks about the variety of communication medium such as email, instant messaging, messenger, Facebook, and other more. Simply as a digital user, we must use it properly and responsibly. Remember guys that think before you click. Next is the digital etiquette. When we are in digital world, always remember that there are some behavior or etiquette that must be observed similarly in the real world. Simply treat others the same that you want to be treated to prevent misunderstanding or mess. Next is digital health and wellness. Overuse of technology have negative impact on our physical, psychological, and mental health. That's why we need to manage ourselves in using technology. Next is digital law. Recognize that there are many laws implemented in the online world. Hacking into others' information, downloading illegal music, plagiarizing, creating destructive worms, viruses, or creating Trojan horses, sending spam, or stealing anyone's identity or property is unethical and against in digital law. The number 8 elements is the digital rights and responsibilities. Apart from law, we have also digital rights, like we have freedom of speech, access different sites, use different application tool, free to post unwanted pictures or video. But always remember guys that our rights must be accompanied by responsibility. Do not abuse your rights and make a responsible decision. Last is the digital security and privacy. Digital citizen must take measure to be safe, protect yourself from the outside forces that might cause disruption or harm to you.
Okay, good afternoon everyone. By the way, my name is Angelica Tunong and today we will have another discussions. Today we will discuss about social, ethical, and legal responsibilities and the use of technology tools and resources. Now let's start with a social and ethical responsibilities definition. So when we say about social responsibilities is an ethical practices which makes individuals accountable in his or her actions towards civic duty and the actions should benefit the society. While the ethical responsibilities is an individual's abilities to recognize, interpret, and act based on standards and norms acceptable to society. Okay, so you can define social and ethical responsibilities as individuals' practices and actions based on standards and norms. So as a digital citizens, always keep in mind that every time we use online platforms or any kind of technology, we need to be responsible on how we use technology, not only in our own advantage, but also on how it will affect to others. Okay, so here is the practices that needed not only for our education but also in all aspects in our lives. The first one, we have use scholars, computers, and equipment for educational purposes only. Okay, do you remember when we are in a junior high school, we have ICT subjects, so meaning we have a computer laboratory. So of course, we have a rules and regulations every time we use computer labs. So as much as possible, we go go inside to focus and do our activities that guided by our teachers or professors. And let's avoid adding some personal files or personal informations inside the computer laboratory. Second, we need to ask permission when using school resources. Of course, we need to ask permission to our teachers or staff in school if we are going to use computer laboratory or school resources. And every time we use laboratory, always keep in mind that we need to use computer properly. Next, take care of school's technology equipment. So make sure you are familiar with technology equipment before using it. So if you are not familiar, you can ask your teachers or staff in school of what are the equipments of technology. As a future teacher, we make sure that before we let our students use a computer laboratory, always keep in mind that we check it first before we allow them to use a computer laboratory. Okay, next we have a visit recommended educational portals and platforms only. Today, when we have a online classes, the learning management system that we considered is a Google Classroom. But if we have a face-to-face classes, so as much as possible, we use educational portals and platforms only. Lastly, respect and value the work of others. Okay, copy and paste is unethical and subject for legal sanctions. So, learn the proper way of citation and giving credits to or recognizing the work of others. Just like, for example, if we search an information in Google, we need to add in the name of authors or give credits to the owner, of course, because that means you respect and value the work of others. Now let's proceed to the legal issues in the use of technology tools and resources. So here is some following that issues that we encountered. So the first one, we have in unauthorized use of computers, cellular phone, and other hardware. Okay, this refers to an individual attempt to use computers and other hardware without the permission from the legal owner. So, a hardware includes drive, power supply, keyboard. Like for example, if we are using computer laboratory at school, so as much as possible, let's avoid adding our personal documents. And of course, we are not the only one who use a computer laboratory. So there's also other students who can access it, of course, if you are saving your or adding your personal information inside the computer laboratory. So just keep in mind that every time we use computer laboratory, let's not save our personal files or using school's property. Next, unauthorized access of computer software or platforms. So this refers to an individual attempt to use software or platforms such as computer applications, internet browsers, online communication like for example the Skype, Messenger, and Facebook, among others without the permissions from the owner. Again, let's not access inappropriate sites, especially in a school computer's laboratory, and let's avoid adding our personal accounts. For example, at the computer shop, don't forget to log out your account if you log in your Facebook account. If you forget to log out your account, so there's a tendency that other students or other people can access your personal accounts. Next, we have software piracy. So, software piracy is illegal and downloading or copying software is illegal. So, this happens when a software or is downloaded and duplicated for distribution to friends, relatives, and other individuals. This will lead the issue of copyright law. So, as much as possible, let's avoid piracy. Lastly, we have malware distribution. So the most common malware are viruses, worms, spyware, and adware. So this malware are distributed by individuals through message or emails, which eventually shared with other computers. So for example, there's a lot of scammer everywhere. So to scam other people, they are sending message or links to access your personal account. So I know that in social media and Facebook account, there's a lot of people sending you a link. So for example, click mo to dahil ikaw to. So please don't click it. Just one click, there's a tendency na makukuha nila yung identity mo. So that's a very dangerous. And of course, because we know that malware distribution can cause a negative effect to our gadget na maaaring makakasira ito ng gadget natin, like for our computers, cell phones, or any kind of technology. So we must be careful and let's avoid malware distribution. Okay, now as you can see in the picture, we have Christopher McElvery. So Christopher McElvery is at Angelo State University. He recommended one approach that can help teachers to demonstrate and to guide students and learning on how to use technology tools and resources responsibly. So he offers the acronym TechSmart as an option for helping both students and teachers. So here is the following tips that can help students to be tech smart or to use technology responsibly. So first is T, stands for take care of technology equipment. So as a student, it is your responsibility to take care of technology equipment. It is also important for us to learn how to protect technology resources from malware and viruses. Now we have here E, explore appropriate and safe sites for learning and research. So we know that many website contains false information. So however, teachers can provide a list of approved websites to use in class. Next, C stands for Copyright Law, Fair Use Act, and Creative Commons Matters. So, students learn how to copy and paste without realizing the copyright implications. So, it stands for Help Prevent Cyberbullying. So, I know that we are familiar of cyberbullying, right? So, cyberbullying presents a dangerous threat in today's digital world. The consequence of cyberbullying can be a negative effect to other people that experiencing cyberbullying in class, in schools, or in social media. So the result, they can be an emotional stress after going to schools and even suicide. That is very dangerous. So there's a lot of people suicide is because of cyberbullying. So always keep in mind that the best thing you can do is to try to stop cyberbullying to a social media or in school. Next, we have S, stands for self-image is important. So always choose to promote a positive and professional image of social and of self in social media. So but always keep in mind that every time you post, you need to think first before you post something online. Okay. Now M stands for make use of netiquette. So always be respectful when communicating with others online. So that is a more important part, that we need to be respectful. A stands for always give credit to the original source. Again, so remember to always cite your source when you are going to copy information online. So R stands for remember to be effective, thoughtful, and ethical digital creators. So we must use those educational properly to support our learning. So instead of using it in an appropriate way. The last one is T stands for think. So as a future educators, always remember to think of how or for what purpose you are using technology, because understanding ethical issues or social legal issues of technology in the classroom is important. And always remember to teach students to be tech smart, because it can help them to become a responsible citizens in today's digital world. Okay, once again, that ends of my discussion. So now let's help me welcome our next reporter, Miss Kristen Hernaez.
Good day, everyone. I am Christine May Hernaez, and I am the reporter of Intellectual Property Rights applicable to the educational setting. So, what is intellectual property rights in the educational settings? So, intellectual property is the area of law that deals with protecting the rights of those who create original works, in this instance in the field of e-learning. So, intellectual property right are the right given to a person over the creation of their minds. So, what is the intellectual property in school? Schools typically create and use intellectual property, including copyright, and on a daily basis. So, intellectual property is a term used to encompass a range of legal rights that protects the creation of their minds and effort. So, intellectual property in school is critical to shaping an environment that conducted to fostering creativity and innovation of the country. One of the key focus areas of the children in school, as it is essential to nurture creativity and the ability to innovate from a young age. So there are 4 types of intellectual property rights. First is the patents, second is the trademarks, third is the copyright, fourth is the trade secrets. First is the patents. Patents, a government authority or a license conferring or a right or a title for a set period, especially the sole right to exclude others from making, using, or selling an invention. So second one is the trademark. Trademark is a symbol, word, or words legally registered or established by use as representing a company or a product. Third one is the copyright. The exclusive legal right given to an originator or an assignee to print, publish, perform, film, or record literacy, artistic or musical material, and to the authorized other to do the same. So the last one is the trade secret. Trade secret, a secret device or technique used by a company in manufacturing its products. So what is the importance of intellectual property rights? Strong and enforced intellectual property rights protect consumers and families. Strong intellectual property rights help consumers make an educated choice about the safety, reliability, and effectiveness of the purchases. The importance of IPR is the function is to protect and stimulate the development and distribution of the new products, the prevention of new services based on the creation and exploitation of invention, trademarks, design, creative content, and or other intangible assets. So next is the policy. So what is policy? Policy in schools should refer to the guidance and resources tabs on this topic for links more detailed information on a copyright matters. This policy sets out the 7 foundational principles that guide schools' management of intellectual property in the line the department's intellectual property right, copyright policy, and the state's overarching intellectual property policy. So the next is details. So details in school typically create and use intellectual property, including copyright, on a daily basis. So copyright. What is copyright? Copyright refers to the rights granted to the creators or copyright holders of original works. Copyrights protects owners' rights to control how their works are used. Copyright is the form of intellectual property most commonly created and or used in the department of schools Examples of materials protected by IP or copyright that schools staff might encounter include curriculum material, the textbooks and the teaching resources, the software and apps, the films, videos, and podcasts. So here are the IP principles. First is the department makes its IP available with the fewest possible restrictions. So second one is the department owns the IP created its employees and the course of their work. The third one is the department appropriately manage IP belonging to others. And the IP is managed in the departmental procurement, contracts, and shared founding agreements. And the department does not ordinarily commercialize its IP. The department employees must not commercialize departmental IP for their own purpose. The IP should be identified and recorded appropriately. Purpose of copyright law. The primary purpose of the copyright law is not so much to protect the interests of the authors, creators, but rather to promote the progress of science and the useful arts that is knowledge. Be aware that mere ownership of book, manuscript, painting, or any other copy of a copyrighted work does not automatically grant you copyright ownership. So what is copyright protection? The Copyright Act provides a bundle of rights that is protect the owner expression of original ideas created and fixed in a tangible medium. So the copyright protection is the one who protect that copyright created by the creators. So what can be copyrighted? So this is the works that can be copyrighted by others. First is the literary works. Second is the musical works. The dramatic works including any accompanying music. The pantomimes and the choreographic works. The pictorial, graphic, and sculptural works, the motion pictures and the audiovisual works, sound recordings, architectural works, and that's the works or can be copyrighted. So, who owns the copyright? A copyright owner is usually any author who contributes original expression to a work. That's the owner of the copyright.
Everyone, my name is Lermes Cotton, and I will going to discuss about the digital safety rules. What is digital safety rules? Digital safety rules is by practicing online safety, we can prevent and mitigate the risks that are inherently involved with using digital technologies, platforms, and services. Why is digital safety rules important? It is important because when we use correctly, technology can be a fantastic learning and social tool. But children need to have a... Ayaw, saba, ma! Sams, ma'am. Why is digital safety rules are important? Okay. Digital safety rules are important because when we use correctly, technology can be a fantastic learning and social tool, but children need to have a clear understanding of the safety rules and not fall foul of the myriad of risks and threats which can occur to unsuspecting individual. The example of digital safety. First, don't share your password with others. Don't use common, easily guessable password. Make sure password and password hints are stored securely. Record password in an encrypted file on your computer or select another secure password or storage method. 5. Server safety by Norton. First, never leave your device unattended. Second, click with caution. Third, never share your password. Fourth, be wary of using social media. Fifth, be a good citizen. That would be all. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. Now, let's talk about the netizen in cyberspace and active citizenship. Before we proceed, let us first identify what is citizen or citizenship, netizen, and what is cyberspace. So, citizen or citizenship, it is the interrelationship between an individual and a state. So it implies the status of having a freedom with accompanying responsibilities. Like as we a Filipino citizen, we all have responsibilities. For example, it is our responsibility to vote. It is our right. So that implies ourselves being a citizen. So next is netizen. So netizen, it is the active participant in the online community of the internet. So it is referred to a user of the internet who often actively engage in a political or even not political social issues in life. Or we ourselves can call ourselves netizens since in classes we use the internet. We use the internet to post things in social media. Next is the cyberspace. It is the environment in which communication over computer networks occur, or the virtual world. So example of this is you have sent an email to your friend. So it means that you have sent a message through a cyberspace. So what is cyberspace used for? Cyberspace allows the user to share information, interact or communicate, swap ideas, play games, engage in a discussion or social forums. So you might wonder if social media is a cyberspace. Since cyberspace refers to all of the spaces that uses the internet, then yes, social medias and all other popular social medias online that and other applications is a cyberspace. So it also includes the www or the World Wide Web. So as a citizen in a cyberspace, we can call ourselves as a cyber citizen in active citizenship. So what is cyber citizen? So it is the rights, privilege, and responsibilities required of the internet and cellular network users. So another term for the cyber citizens or the digital citizen. Since digital citizen is a person who uses the internet regularly and effectively. As someone who is an active in a cyber world, we are expected to follow rules and be responsible. So now we will talk about what are the things a citizen who is an active in the internet needs to know in order to be a good netizen. The first one is the cyber rights. So there are no real rights you have as in a cyber citizen other than the legal protection you already have as a actual citizen. So while the cyber world does not have a bill of constitutionally protective rights, you should still be required to respect certain unalienable rights. What are these? This is the life, the liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. So the life, it is the right for fair and responsible treatment online. Then liberty is rights to basic freedom. What are these basic freedom? For example, the respect, privacy, safety, and equal treatment regardless of your sex, religion, or sexual orientation. Then last is the pursuit of happiness. So it is the rights to explore personal interest without undue interference. So these three is very important for us to know as a citizen in a cyberspace, because if you know these three rights, maybe there's no complication that might occur since you already know rights and the rights of others, then you can't cause problem or make something that might harm them. Well, then next is the cyber privilege. So it is a privilege for us to have access in the internet. So it's also a privilege to have the technology that allows us to access to the internet and cellular network. So this privilege is the authority that is given to us. For example of these privileges, if you download an application, then some application you need to pay, you need to buy those applications. Some are free. For example, if you go to Canva, there are elements in Canva that are free. There's also in the elements that you need to buy in order to use them. So and in these applications they called premium usage. So third one is the cyber responsibility. So responsibility is really at the heart of the cyber citizenship. So to be responsible, we need to be informed about the cyber world. So usage. So third one is the cyber responsibility. So responsibility is really at the heart of the cyber citizenship. So to be responsible, we need to be informed about the cyber world. So there are certain ways as civilized human beings should behave toward others in a cyberspace. First example, be responsible towards the law. So the most important area of respect we should demonstrate as a cyber citizen is towards the law. So there are several legal issues related online activity. So the first of this is the intellectual property rights, or the invention or the patent, the design, the brand name or the trademark, and the copyright. The second one is cyber stalking. So another area that has legal protections in a cyber harassment or cyberbullying are cyber stalking. So cyber stalking is an example of a cyber crime. So cyber crime is the things that against the law in a cyberspace. So examples of this is copyright infringement, plagiarism, identity theft, child pornography. It also includes sexting, downloading songs that you didn't purchase, and cyberbullying and harassment or internet stalking. The next is cyber identity. We all have identity. When we are born into this world, we already have identity, and one thing that assure our identity is our birth certificate. So when we are born, we already have birth certificate. So that identity, we already have identity. So we also have a cyber identity. So it is our identity online. So example, it is our accounts. So the difference between the two is our real world identity is we cannot change. We can only change them if there's a judicial order and if there is error, then we can file petition in the court. Well, in the cyber identity, we can change it immediately. Just one click away, you can change your name, your age, your address, and even your picture. So just one tap, just one click, and you'll become a totally different person. Next is the cyber footprint. So when we're using a internet or a cyberspace, we all leave a cyber footprint. So for example, there are two types of cyber footprints, the intentional and the unintentional. The example of the intentional cyber footprints is what we post online, photos, the tag photos, your comments. This is the example of our intentional. The unintentional is the cookies. Like when you go to website, there is a cookies, so they ask you if you want to share your information. Then since we don't know what is that cookie, so we click agree or disagree. It depends on what you do. So I guess that's all for the cyberspace and cyber active citizenship. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am John B. Nodalo and I will be discussing about netiquette. So, etiquette is a code of behavior. It includes behavior expectation or norms within a society, social class, or group. So, netiquette is how social codes of behavior look in an online environment. So, Netiquette is a short for network or internet etiquette. It is a set of social conventions that define what is and what is not appropriate behavior in the online environment. So, netiquette, it is a set of rules that encourages appropriate and conscious online behavior. So, these rules are important as they promote communication skills, prevent miscommunications, and help you understand what is socially acceptable when working and collaborating online. Here are some of the basics of etiquette in online education. Be respectful, be careful with humor and sarcasm, embrace professional demeanor and communication, provide factual information, and the last is avoid posting and sharing inappropriate material. So let's start with number one, be respectful. So we should be mindful of the words that we say and write online to avoid conflict and miscommunication. For example, writing in all caps in an online environment, it is the same of shouting or yelling. So remember class that the person on the other end of a digital communication can see your real expression or hear your tone. So also always respect the opinions of your classmates and instructors. After all, respect begets respect. Second is be careful with humor and sarcasm. So keep in our mind class that expressing humor and sarcasm online is challenging as it can be misinterpreted. So make sure that it is clear that you are being funny and not being rude. So be careful of the jokes you communicate even private groups as this can be shared with the public. So to avoid hurting others people's feelings, stop making offensive jokes. A light-hearted joke can be viewed differently in the text, so you will need to be careful about making the intent behind your words as clear as possible. So, which is why sarcasm is off limits most times. Number three is embrace professional demeanor and communication. So, many people tend to forget the rules that apply to writing in communication online. So, however, resorting to proper grammar, punctuation, and grammatization can make the message seem more professional. So, not only does it make your text more readable, but it can also prepare you for professional writing that you might do in the future. So, be mindful of your writing style at all times. While maintain a professional appearance during your online class to show your dedication. So, wearing comfortable and appropriate clothes such as t-shirts, polo shirts, and sweatshirts. After all, it is still a professional setting even though you are studying within the comfort of your own. So, your professors and classmates can likewise still see you during the entire online class session. Number four is provide factual information. So, internet is a vast place with information coming from all sorts of sources. So, that is why we should be careful when providing information. So, it is important to check everything we read and possibly include sources when giving an informations. And the last is avoid posting and sharing inappropriate material. So, online privacy is something you should keep in mind when typing anything. Most things you post and share are probably going to be there for a long time. So, think first before posting and sharing something. So, always remember that nothing is private on the internet. So, you need to be wary of your online behavior. Why is it etiquette is important in online education? So, it is because more and more classes are being held online nowadays. So, it is important for participants to have an understanding of the rules of online etiquette. So these rules to help to keep discussions focused, on track, and respectful. So without online etiquette rules, conversations and debates can quickly disintegrate into misunderstanding and rude language and behavior. So which destroys the chance of smooth communications and maintaining healthy relationships.
Good day, everyone. I am Jaku Awao, and I will discuss the educational sites and portals. So, due to the recent pandemic, many industries worldwide are now adapting to the new normal, one of which is the educational sectors. 3 years ago, many schools had stopped on opening to prevent the spread of the virus. We used to blended learning like online and offline classes. Even though there is pandemic, it doesn't mean that learning has also to stop. Fortunately, there are various websites and online platforms that are accessible that can help to the students in their learning. So, what is educational sites and portals? They are websites that support different educational sectors by providing access to relevant information and tools to each group served. Instructors can find valuable educational resources to develop their teaching, and by using these portals, they enhance student learning. There are various websites found on the internet. Some have got important informations, details, documents, while some are just satire. The educational websites keeps the students updated in so many things happening in the world of education. Those websites bring important informations that required to their studies, that required to our studies. Sometimes, when we feel frustrated because we don't know what we're reading, wala ta kasabot kung unsay atong gibasa sa mga gihatag sa mga reading materials na gihatag sa ato. So we usually go to website, we tend to search it, for example sa Google, and then we got an answer. So as a result, educational websites are important to the learners. Websites help students to be independent, keeping them informed, notified, and providing them with information on a wide range of educational topics. And through portals, that educators can assist their students by giving them quizzes and exams. So the key difference between educational sites and portals, websites are used to reach a large number of people. So makikita siya ng lahat at magagamit siya ng lahat. While web portals limit the number of users and refine them to a specific group of users. So, ang web portals, it is a private. You need to code. You need the code to log in. So, what is website? A website, it is a collection of web pages which are grouped together and usually connected together in various ways. And ang web page, it is a document written in HTML that is viewed in an internet browse. So there are three types of websites: the static websites, dynamic websites, and e-commerce website. Static websites. Static websites are the ones that have web page with fixed content. The content remains the same throughout any changes have made to it. These websites have sample page text. Whenever a user visits static websites, the same content is seen. Second is dynamic websites. So dynamic websites, it shows a variety of content each time a user visits a website. The websites are updated automatically depending on a set of parameters like template, content, and script. These websites are created with the help of various software languages. Example of these are the social media, videos and photo galleries, blogging, email, etc. So the third is e-commerce web. The third is e-commerce website. So the term e-commerce simply means the sale of goods or services on the internet. It allows people to buy and sell physical goods, services, and digital products over the internet. Through these websites, a business can process orders, accept payments, manage shipping and logistics, and provide customer service. The example of these are Shopee, Lazada, etc. So example of educational websites: google.com, youtube.com, getapic.com, instructure.com, and psychology.com. So what is web portal? Web portal is a specially designed website that provides information catered from various sources, such as emails, online forums, and search engines on one platform uniformly. So web portals, it is a privately accessible and only members of the portal can visit and its content using their login ID and password. An example of an educational portal, it is a website that offers learners interaction and collaboration on e-learning content, like courses, presentation, podcast, and tasks, as well as content management for e-learning providers. So, example sa web portal kay Google Meet and Google Classroom and also Zoom. So, the birth of the web. The World Wide Web was invented by British scientist Tim Berners-Lee in 1989 while working at CERN. On 30th April 1993, CERN put the World Wide Web software in the public domain. According to Oxford Dictionary, the World Wide Web, or WW commonly known as the web, is an information system that on the internet which allows documents to be connected to other documents by hypertext link, enabling the user to search for information by moving from one document to another document. So WW is software in nature. It comprises of files, folders, and documents stored in various computers. The history of web portals. Web portals widely used in business-to-business and business-to-consumer web application in the late 1990s. Web portals originated from web search engines in the early 1990s. And web portals derives from medieval Latin word portali, meaning city gate. And that's all. I hope you have learned something from my discussion. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. Now let's talk about collaborative projects. So, collaborative projects, it allows groups of people to work together to create an online content. So, collaborative class projects are designed to help students to learn how to function in a team-based workplace. Students perform research or solve problems as a team, allowing the students or allowing them to learn skills necessary to work together. So there are 4 examples of collaborative projects. First is the organized study groups. The second is the team-based research project. The third one is service learning assignment. And the fourth one or the last one is research with shared data sets. So organized study groups. Organized study group, it is a study group, is a small group of people who regularly met to discuss shared fields of study. So members of study group commit to helping other be successful by working together. So what is the purpose of a study group? So it encourages members to think creatively and build strong communication skills, which also helps in refining understanding of the material. So what is the best use of a study group? So the study group can expose you to a different way of thinking and learning. So it also allows for reinforcement of information, provides you a safe place to develop and discuss your ideas, and support and motivate support for motivation for learning. Next is the team-based research project. So our research team consists of people working together in a committed way towards a common research goal. So the advantage of doing research in a team is they often produces better result or better work because they take on more ambitious projects and complementary knowledge and apply diverse research methods. And one of the advantages also of doing research in a team is the opportunity, having the opportunity for all members to learn from each other, and they experience diverse and skills also benefits the team. Next is the service learning assignment. So the National Service Learning Clearinghouse describes service learning as a teaching and learning method strategy that integrates meaningful community service with instruction and reflection to enrich the learning experience, teach civic responsibility, and strengthen communities. In general, service learning projects have an impact on both students' learning and the individuals or community that your class serve. So, service learning is often a collaboration effort between faculty members and community parties. So there are 4 types of service learning. First is direct service learning. So direct service learning focuses on face-to-face interaction or in tutoring. Then next one is indirect service learning. So indirect service learning, the students remain behind the scenes, or the example of this is organizing a food or clothing drive. So third one is research-based service learning. So it is the gathering and presenting information. The example of this are testing. Then last is advocacy service learning. So the advocacy service learning is the students lend their voice, talents, and resources to community issues with hope of elevating or eliminating the problem. So the example of this is petitioning, making presentation. So now let's move on to share research with shared data sets. So data sharing allows the researchers to build upon the work of others rather than repeat already existing research. So a data set, it is a collection of raw statistics and information generated by a research study. So why collaborative projects? So social benefits. Collaborative projects gives 3 benefits: the social, psychological, and academic benefits. So the social benefits, the collaborative projects develop a social support system for learners. Then collaborative projects also build an understanding of diversity among the team members. Then the psychological benefits, the collaborative projects increases students' self-esteem. And the collaborative project cooperations reduces anxiety. Then the academic benefits is it promotes critical thinking, engages active learning, and increases students' motivation to learn. So collaboration projects are important learning opportunities since they entail practical real-world work, and students are frequently able to produce significantly more significant research results and get deeper insights into the subject matter than they could have done alone by sharing the task.
Good day everyone, this is Alexandra Miranda and I'm going to talk about the technology tools for collaboration work. So let's begin. Technology tools for collaboration work is a collaborative learning, essentially people working together to solve problems, create a product, or derive meaning from a body of material. So what's the tools that exist to support collaboration can